Alright then, so, welcome to the Newtypes podcast, the podcast where I, your current today host CDF, am joined with our usual friends, Kaiser and Lone Crit. And if you don't mind me, I'm probably just gonna feel a little weary, so don't mind that. I am a little on the fritz, I'm in need of repairs, just like a car, so, yeah.
Well, every threat is also an opportunity. If you're not doing so well one time, that just gives an opportunity for improvement.
Fizz.
That aside, though, okay. Elephant in the room, or not elephant in the room, but still, important thing to mention. Is it just me, or has this season been stacked?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that there's just so many freaking shows out right now. Granted, with so many out, there's a lot more shit. Well, just straight shit shows in general, but there's just a lot in general. There's even shows coming out today, which is interesting.
And speaking of a current seasonal that isn't shit, let's talk about Mars Red for a little bit, because I saw an episode of that. Kaiser, I believe you were with me when you saw that as well in a certain group chat.
Yes, in fact, I saw I think the two episodes that are out right now. What did you think of it?
I saw one so far, and it was kind of solid. There were some moments where some of the CGI and texturing were a bit iffy, but the presentation actually felt kind of cool. It felt like a stage play, which, to be fair, it is based on a stage play, so that makes sense. But the direction actually felt meticulous, so that actually worked well. There were some really cool shots and whatnot, with the main girl of the first episode spinning and whatnot.
Yeah.
I thought Mars Red was based on a manga.
Oh no, it has a manga, but it's not actually. But it's apparently based on a stage play, first and foremost.
Okay, first and foremost, My Hero Academia is not a shonen battle series.
Why do we keep just making Hero Academia jokes out of nowhere?
No, guys, it is a character drama disguised as a shonen series.
It's a human story disguised as a human series. Blah. Let's go back to non-human stories, because this is about vampires. This Mars Red show involves vampires, yeah.
It's interesting you should say that, because, okay, I read a little bit of the manga a while back. I remember absolutely nothing about it, other than, this seems kind of dumb. That's it. I just read one chapter.
We don't, at least from the episode I saw, we don't really know much about the specifics of the world, but just a general story of the main character. He's just I'm sort of married to this fiancé that I haven't seen. And so then it turns out the vampire for that episode, spoilers by the way, but I'm gonna just put this shit in, at the start. But yeah, so the vampire of the episode that they encounter ends up being the fiancé that she was basically attacked by vampires and turned into one during a practice performance of the play that she was in, that she wanted to show the main character when he came here.
Which may or may not involve the blonde kid in the episode. Which, let's be honest, it involves him. Of course it does.
Of course, probably, yeah. But yeah, and there's a part where she basically busts out because she's tired and she wants to actually show him the stuff before eventually recognizing it's him. And then it's cool that she ends up being generally harmless, but then when she gets to a point where she spooks the main character enough, he's about to draw his sword, but she just pushes his hands in and just confesses that, hey, she's glad she finally got to meet him and all that stuff, and then she just lets herself die by being absorbed by the sunlight. It's kind of a cool, bittersweet end.
Yeah, I found that very interesting. It's a perspective that you kind of get to see sometimes in these types of stories, but it's never at the start of it. It's always at the very end. It's interesting to see they didn't really throw out there that these two are betrothed to each other without them really knowing each other at first. You just kind of get bits and pieces about that aren't super overt in the episode until the very end. And it just kind of hits you how tragic it was, and how it kind of sets the stage for how much this dude and possibly everybody else in like the army or whatever the fuck they are kind of sacrificing, in order to get this shit done.
Yeah, especially since I'm actually kind of glad that they averted some of the action. It's just like, it doesn't go into like a schlocky epic bloodbath immediately. It's just that, oh, some of the guys are trying to shoot at her. One hits her, and then she's like, oh, okay. And then she just moves on, has like a slight moment where she is able to just like deflect all the bullets, and they go very slowly, but she doesn't actually like do any damage to people. She just kind of like incapacitates them a bit off screen for the most part. So there's just this general aversion of going ham at the very start.
Okay, this sounds pretty interesting. Now, I'm more curious about it now. I've heard some interesting things regarding the direction. I think somebody said it has the same director as Mononoke, although I looked that up and it seemed not to be the case. Maybe I'm misremembering, but still, I've heard some interesting things about the visuals.
Yeah, and it was done by Signal MD, and that's an okay studio to keep your eyes on here and there. They haven't really done much, but meh.
Yeah. But speaking of things we've been watching, I would like to talk about Pretty Boy Detective Club. But before that, I really want to, Kaiser, I really want to get your opinion on this. We were talking about it earlier, and I cut the conversation between any of us said anything about it. The first episode of the new season of Welcome to the Demon World Iruma-kun, where, because I'm a disgusting weave, I just call it Mairimashita Iruma-kun. Did you like it?
Weeb!
Yeah, I actually really liked it. The opening's a fucking banger. Part 1. And
personally, I prefer the opening for season 1, the whole babby. It's really cringe, but fuck you, it's my cringe.
Cringe!
Oh, so cringe is only good when we like it, but fuck my hero, I guess.
No, it's only good when the British do it. And this one time.
Huh.
Fair. But, I aside from the opening, the episode was actually really good. It has some of the standard stuff where it's it's reintroducing the cast and how Iruma got here and stuff like that. But, it still manages to be pretty funny by introducing a semi-new character with, the spirit in Iruma's ring. And actually, giving him a personality. And the whole joke is kind of, revolves around Iruma, well, not only trying to figure out what the hell this is, but just the fact that the creature apparently had zero awareness before this very...
Yeah, I really liked a lot of the jokes in this episode. I think they're some of the funniest in the series so far. I'm really surprised Iruma-kun has actually gone, under the radar so much, because a lot of the humor is really strong, and it's keeping up a lot of the shit that I really liked in Season 1, where it's this kind of very generic kind of whatever thing. Reminds me a lot of Rosario plus Vampire, but...
Oh, yeah.
In a setting sense, but the thing it reminds me the most of that I haven't heard anybody mention in reference to it is Hayate the Combat Butler. The basic setup is so much more like that than Rosario. With Rosario, it's a little bit more of a setting, plus Demon School. But I digress. Regarding the comedy, though, it has that kind of looseness where it takes those ideas, those plots, and just elevates them and makes them so much more into something through a very nice combination of, cheese and creativeness in places. I'm not saying it commits the S word. I'm not saying, based on particular expectations, it acts differently than what one would be led to believe.
Ah, yes, the Ryan Johnson word.
Shut the fuck up. We do not mention Western hacks in this Japanime podcast, sir. How dare you?
We only talk about weeb hacks.
Yeah, but one joke that I really love is when the spirit of the Ring of Gluttony comes out, and it starts talking, and Iruma's like, Hey, wait a second, you talk! And he's like, don't be ridiculous, I would never talk to a human like you. Wait. And they just let a solid 5 seconds go by of both, the spirit of the Ring of Gluttony and Iruma staring at each other wait, what? And then it's holy shit, I talk! Oh my god! I have a voice!
Yeah, it's kind of like now I haven't seen it, but it kind of reminded me a bit of like Toy Story 4, like the general plot of that thing
Me
where it's
neither.
like, oh, the fork that finally actually has sentience and just kind of goes through that. It's kind of the similar case here where he's every bit as surprised as Iruma is that he's like alive.
More so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely more so.
That joke just absolutely killed me. I think that one joke justified the entire episode, but then we get the whole
Yes.
thing where Iruma changes his clothes and he switches into the idol girl outfit, and then the president of the student council walks in, and just like the look on her face and that exchange between the two of them was absolutely beautiful.
It's incredible. Like, I know the way we're describing it sounds like just like, typical shit, but I know,
It's the
this
way it's
isn't
done.
fucking. Yes, it's the way it's done. It's not George Carlin, but like, especially by anime standards, this show is really fucking funny, and I hate how underrated it is.
Sometimes typical and simple stuff can actually be good and has to be good. Otherwise, what does it
Yes.
say about
Yeah.
anime if it can't do the basics right?
Yeah, it takes a lot of the misunderstanding stuff and injects so much humor and absurdity into that it actually becomes hilarious. Like, Iruma's like, wait, no, like, the ring was talking to me. Iruma, don't be fucking ridiculous. Rings don't talk. But wait, this one does. No, rings do not talk.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, we can go talk to my grandfather and everything's gonna be fine. Iruma, rings don't talk. So, oh my fucking god.
And then they shove Iruma into bed because he thought that he was tired. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I really love that repetition. I really love that repetition where the whole rings don't talk line, and they just put it through different situations that kind of evolves that joke.
Rings don't talk, you delirious insomniac fuck.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I also just like, I'm obsessed with the linear nature of progression and leveling mechanics, but I do like that the story kind of takes a little bit of a turn where Iruma is now more incentivized to like go up the demon ranks. For some reason that
Yeah.
shit is just like really satisfying to me.
Yeah, it kind of feeds into just like, kind of like the running aspect of the show is that Iruma like gradually be setting goals for himself, even like medial ones that might be a bit counterproductive to like his general like I suppose like disposition, the fact that he doesn't want to like stand out or whatever. But like it kind of like shows how much he's grown in the sense that he gets a bit more carried away very often when it comes to things that he likes. And I find the way the show communicated that, especially through this episode, very charming.
I also really liked the form they went for the Spirit of the Ring of Gluttony, where he
Yes.
looks like a slender Excalibur from Soul Eater who's purple.
Fool!
Excalibur! Excalibur!
And this guy is almost as funny. And I think from what they're doing
No,
right
he's
here,
funnier.
that's debatable. Anyways, but like
Excalibur's only funny because of how much you want to murder him.
So you pity the fool, and you want to kill the fool.
no
I
comment.
pity the fool that has to put up with Excalibur.
Okay, well, I'm not in the mood to rewatch Soul Eater because honestly, at like around the last third is where everything just drops off. No cap. But like,
Oh, so the part where it gets to the best ED and best song of the entire show, Strength by Abington Boys School.
Paper Moon is so great.
That too,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we're not even going to get into the fuck you ending of the Soul Eater anime.
yeah, not even just like the ending, just like the last third. That shit in general just fucking bothered me. Like things just meandered a lot more. And, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like the ending is the fuck you on the fuck you cake. Regardless though, I forgot how pleasant I find a lot of these side characters. I'm kind of really looking forward now to when we get Clara's family again, because the first time, like, they did the sort of Valak family song, I found it really annoying, but then every time after that, I found it hilarious and adorable. Just the way they insert that shit into situations. where they just really, really don't fit. Like, CBF,
Yeah.
you seem to have not seen the show, but there is this, like, one main, like, side character, one of the mains, who's one of the best friends of the main character, and she belongs to a family with such a, like, sense of togetherness that any time they are all together in some kind of, like, regardless of setting, they may just arbitrarily start a whole song and dance musical number with green tuxedos, top hats, and canes about how they are the family that they are.
I have actually seen that clip, yes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you've seen that clip. It's so funny.
Yeah, you would expect it to be like, oh, super cutesy and annoying, but they actually did the impossible. They actually make it work.
They made it
like,
charming.
what the fuck? Yeah, I did not cringe. Cringe levels were low every time that happens. And I'm just like, what?
Also, as someone who has only watched clips, I have to ask you, is Amelie actually best girl like she appears to be in the clips?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, President Ellie is great. She's just so funny. Like, this episode, for example, a lot of her gags. Iruma, why are you dressed like this? Iruma, why are you cross-dressing? Iruma, rings don't talk.
Yeah, for context, right? In the first season, certain shenanigans basically forced Iruma to cross-dress as an idol singer. So already we're at.
And then, like,
at
this episode, she was just looking at the poster. She was staring at it intently, and she's like, no matter how I look at it, this is Iruma. No, it can't be Iruma. Proceeds to walk in room where he's dressed in the idol outfit. It's true!
I've actually suffered the wrath of having to face that song a lot on AMQ.
Oh my god.
What, the opening?
No, the Iruma Idol song.
Oh, really? That's odd. I really
Yeah,
have
it
to
plays
revisit
on
that.
ranked AMQ a bit too much, like, you know, the ranked
okay.
matches.
I'm just also really looking forward to seeing a lot of the class members, because it's not like My Hero Academia where everybody needs to get a turn at some point in time, but just like them being there is kind of funny, especially the more mischievous or trickstery ones. Also, Iruma has better Mineta. Fuck you, fight me.
Oh wow, Iruma has better comedic timing than My Hero Academia? That's wow.
No, but it's just like that one guy. That one guy is just so much funnier.
Yeah.
So Loncra, what you're saying is that basically Irume-kun is the superior anime manlet.
But it's not a human story.
What I'm saying, but it's not a human story. Have you guys been watching anything else this season?
Well,
I have.
do we want to go into the big thing first, or we want to delay that more?
Wait, the what thing?
Oh, the pre-boy detective thing, or are you talking about something else?
Oh, I guess we might as well get that out of the way first
Yes,
before we get into the
please.
rage.
Yeah.
The Raid Shadow Legends?
Fuck you.
Raid Shadow Legends!
The Newtypes are sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. At time.
This app will fuck your mom for the low price of free and your self.
Your soul!
And your
Your soul.
self-respect. But like, yeah,
well, it's fine. We're a podcast for anime fans.
At time over.
that is true.
It's basically free.
Right. So, for what was it? Pretty Boy Detective Club.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. Like, it's made by Shaft. Shimbo's taking the wheel, and it's fucking hilarious. It's actually pretty heartfelt at times, which I really like.
Yeah, kinda. I really, really love a lot of the jokes and gags or style too. Like, first 3-4 minutes, those were really boring for me. CBF, as once you pointed out, a lot of the backgrounds look a bit Handshakers-esque.
No, that was someone else who pointed that out, though I like the actual backgrounds, though some of the environmental CG is a bit yikers, but everything else about the visuals, for the most part, is gorgeous, gorgeous Shaft, ostentatious gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yes.
again, I just love the style. Like, okay, past the first 3 or 4 minutes that really dragged for me, the second they decided to go to the detective club, it's like, a normal director would probably cut to the club. Or maybe say how they got there and cut to it. A weird director would do, like, have the camera's perspective move through the hallway, maybe while the two people are talking, whatever, and just, like, keep it symmetrical, almost Kubrick-esque in a way, and just move forward, maybe with, like, guide marks along the signs, such as columns or whatever, to kind of give that feeling of, now you're entering a different world, you know, hero's journey and shit.
I mean, sure, but those people have small penises.
Yeah. Akiyuki Shinbo, though, he's like, nah, dude, fuck that normie shit, fuck that weirdo normie shit, or normie weirdo shit. He just swaggers in, crooked ass penis swinging left and right, kicks open the shaft door, and he's like, okay, what we are going to do is we are going to put the camera's perspective on the ceiling and move through the light bulbs or whatever. Why? Fuck you, I don't know, but it's awesome and I liked it. And I like it. Like, oh my god, the level of swagger there.
It's the animation equivalent of like, I'm pissing on the moon. And like, it kind of goes well with like just like the frame of mind, the girl main character just entering this weirdo club filled with just eccentric nutcases.
I mean, we have seen who they are before. It's the leader, the delinquent, the extra Bishounen-y high class one or whatever, the quiet one, and the Shota and or youngish one. I mean, come on, we all must have at least brushed past Ouran High School Host Club at some point in time.
Dude, I was expecting this whole thing since seeing the fucking poster for this show, man. I was like, okay, so somebody liked Ouran.
Thanks for reminding me I need to actually finish that show. I haven't actually seen it and seen past episode 2 in the 5 years I've been on Mal and shit. It's a decent show, but I'll get to it at some point.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That show is actually pretty good.
Yeah, maybe we should just terminate CBF and get a newer, better model.
It'll just be me again.
Whoa. Yeah, and also, that's Robocyst, you fucking halfling.
Robocide.
Yeah, that's Robocide, you fucking halfling.
I reject your hypothesis that robots have any intrinsic value besides monetary, which is applied to them.
I reject your reality, you hack! Haven't you seen SAO Abridged or Mythbusters?
Yeah, well, I substitute my own. Fuck you.
Well...
And your mother.
I don't have a mother. Thanks for reminding me, CBF.
Hooray! You're an edgy shonen protagonist.
Well, here's the thing, Lone
I'm a deuteragonist.
Here's the thing, Lone Crit, you're white, so your struggles don't matter. Dab.
Have you not seen what I look like? I am albino. I am literally white, which makes me a minority of sorts as well, so...
Well, we are in Japanimation land, so... anything can happen.
That is true.
Okay, but back to detective thingy though. After the hallway scene, that's where the real magic happens for me. Well, like, we go into the club, and then even though all of them are in close proximity, we just have like one of them per shot when they're introduced, which is of course kind of normal, because normally you'd have just people on different sides of a room, but instead they just have like the kind of stage-like set and backgrounds, and it's just like boom, 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 all 4 of them situated at roughly equal lengths, shot, only them inside. They get, if I remember correctly, they get spotlighted, and then
yes,
you get a different type of music. Yeah, you get a different type of music and different type of narration for each of them. And what do you call that besides showmanship? it feels just like, come on in, we have the silent one, the delinquent one, the particularly handsome one, the young one. Step right up, step right up.
Yeah, it's that really, like, theatrical, ostentatious style that you just see in Oron and just generally a lot of Shaft stuff. Like, my favorite one, I think, has to be the kid one, just for how, like, the main girl just kind of focuses on his legs.
Yeah, that was so funny when, like, he's doing the whole thing where he's stroking or messing around with his legs or whatever, and she just kind of looks down at her thighs, and he's like, and then looks back at him. That was really, really, really funny.
To be fair, both of them are the most attractive characters in the show, so I don't blame them.
Yes. But
yeah,
like,
that's like, she's self-conscious.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into what I like a lot about this episode, or how they started up, is that you kind of, aside from like some of the monologues and the shit that she says out loud, you know, there are always these little tells that kind of show how she's feeling, without them outright saying it very much. Like her, you know, just whether it be like, hey, general disbelief in like, or I guess conscientiousness towards the club, or just certain aspects of their personalities, either like gelling with her or not, or just her just being generally attracted to him, at least physically, seemingly. Also, I just love the whole gag of like the episode where it's just like, rule number 1, how to become a pretty boy detective. No, rule number 1, you have to be pretty.
You must be pretty.
Rule number 2, you have to be a boy. And rule number 3, you have to be a detective.
Damn it, I only fit 2 of those 3 qualifications.
Yeah. Also, like, the whole boy... I love the way they do the whole boy thing as well, where it's like, oh, all of us are teenagers, but we don't call ourselves men. No, we're boys, because we're children at heart.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Having said that, though, I would have been content with it just being kind of like whatever thingy. It reminded me a little bit of And Yet the Town Moves. I don't think Shinbo directed one, but it has that kind of shafty style. I may be misremembering, but I don't remember that one having that much heart to it, and it's fine, because it coasts on, like, simple, relatable ideas, but this is, like, way more eccentric, way more, like, out there. So I thought it was just going to be, like, very inhuman, like, humor and gags and stuff, and just kind of coasting on the style. But then towards the end of the episode, we have, like, that conversation between the main girl. I'm just going to call her Purple Hair and Red Hair, because nobody remembers names.
I call her Maya Sakamoto Girl.
Okay, that works too. Between Purple Hair and Red Hair, and then they actually have, like, a substantial conversation that shows that he's kind of a person.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we have a bit of a heart, a bit of a kokoro, as the weeb weeb trash would say.
So it goes doki doki, does it not?
Having said that, though, to my understanding, kokoro means something more akin to heart, but whatever.
Yeah, sometimes it's like
no, sorry, I meant
whatever.
soul.
Yeah, spirit or soul.
No, that's Tamashi. Fake weeb confirmed.
No, it is, but that's just the connotation behind the words to my knowledge. It doesn't matter. I'm sure somebody who knows better is going to watch it and correct us in the comments.
It has something in the chest, in the hypothetical chest area, that we can appreciate and is written well. Thank you. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. I'll see you later.
Want to know what doesn't, though? You want to know what doesn't, though?
Oh, here we go.
Fucking Neverland Season 2. Oh my god. What show was that?
You mean... See, I haven't seen that. I am spared of your suffering.
Yes, like, you've only seen Season 1, right, Lone Crit?
This is correct, yes.
Remember back in Season 1 where they actually had a director that decided to make some meticulous sense of atmosphere? A sense of actual direction? And remember when the characters bounced off each other due to the urgency of their situation, and that made all of them intriguing? None of that is here.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Counterpoint CBF. What about like every scene Sister Crone was on screen?
Okay, ignore all that. That shit doesn't count. Aside from all that,
I'm exaggerating a little bit. It was just the crazy bits with her.
yeah, but apart from that, and one dubious moment towards the end, Neverland Season 1 was good. It was a good thriller that actually had some sense of meticulousness to its presentation and writing.
Oh, it was
Toss
better than good.
all
It was
of that
pretty
out
good.
for Season 2.
Yep. And like, here's the thing. To put this into perspective, okay? The manga, as I understand it, because I didn't read it. I just like heard from a lot of people who did read it. The manga, after the point where the anime cut off in the manga, things kind of almost immediately went to shit after like the first 2 arcs or so. And 150 chapters worth of stories just kind of sank the series all the way into the end. So you would, a normal person, right? A sane fucking human being with a reasonable sized penis. Okay, let's say hypothetically that you have a series that is that after its first ever arc went terribly over the course of 150 episodes, and you, my good sir, had the opportunity to change all that. You could do whatever you want to it. You can keep largely the same events, just have them make sense, have all the characters do what they need to do, and just have a good story. You would think that, would you not?
Kaiser Shapiro, young Kaiser, Ben Shapiro, are you saying, are you pro anime original content?
Well, actually, not in this case, because they did the most stupidest, dumbest thing that it would be almost impossible to even conceivably fuck up like this ever again. They skipped almost all of those chapters to fit the 12 episodes.
11, actually.
11
So it's even
episodes. Oh my god.
They Route A'd it. They literally went Route A. They went past... Basically, they rushed past one arc people liked and completely skipped another that people liked, and basically just rushed through all the shit no one actually likes. So the pacing is so damn bad
It's terrible.
that it's impossible to care about anything that's going on or anyone, because as soon as they're introduced, oh, we gotta keep going, we gotta keep moving,
Yeah,
bye.
Gotta keep doing this thing, gotta go that thing. It's the same issue with the World's Ends With You anime. They just cut through all this shit.
Tell me something, is it true that they condensed an entire arc into one frame?
Apparently so, but we've only
Yes!
seen 4 episodes. Wait, 3 episodes so far.
As someone who saw the entire season, yes, and it's the stupidest thing ever. It probably, like, to me, it's just hilarious. But it'd probably be even more offensively stupid if I actually read it. And I'm just not going to, because fuck going through that amount of torture. Also, the characters in, like, the 3rd episode or whatever get into, like, a secret bunker. And in the manga, one of the best characters that later gets shafted, but let's not focus on that, was supposed to be in a room that they enter, but in the anime he just isn't there.
Where is he? He's nowhere. He was supposed to be waiting for us.
Yeah, he just doesn't exist.
Can we acknowledge, though, that sometimes Season 1 had its dumb moments as well? Like
absolutely.
Ray remembering everything from the moment he was
Yes,
conceived.
I was trying to ignore that when I made those concessions for a reason. Like, Season 1 isn't amazing.
Season 1 is pretty good, but like it has that and just like almost everything that is Sister Crone.
Yes.
Yes, but at the very least you can kind of, like, respect what the show is trying to do at the end of the day. This shit is just... what the fuck are they even doing? To put this into perspective, right? They just move through, like, the whole point where the main characters meet the first couple of demons since they got out of the Gracefield farm. that are actually friendly. And, like, the chick demon is, like, doing all this weirdly creepy stuff, like all these weird smiles and staying silent, not even explaining herself, when it's absolutely clear that she doesn't want to hurt these kids.
So it's dumb and it happens for no reason.
I was gonna say, I was about to bet money that some of the demons were nice, because, like, of course they are. Like, what are you gonna do with this premise? Just like, we get out, everybody's a dick? What are you going to do?
Oh, dude, it gets even worse at that front. Like, CBF, you haven't seen it yet, but, like...
Oh yeah, they were only here for like one episode and like 10 minutes. So the actual arc basically just gets rushed through. And the one storyline that one of my friends thought was good is it got rushed over so hard. They're literally just here for one episode. You barely know anything about them, barely have any time to establish a connection. Bam, on to the next place.
I don't understand why we needed a Season 2 in the first place. Season 1 ended on a pretty nice note, where the characters escape and it's like, maybe they're gonna survive, maybe they're not. Maybe there are other people, maybe there aren't. Maybe they're good demons, maybe they're not.
But Lone Crick, this is a shonen series. We have to keep going. We have to keep going because
It's also a mystery thriller.
Not anymore, it's not!
Nope.
Guess so.
And like, guys, I think if anything, both Promised Neverland, both the show and the manga have proven that female main character, like shonen starring female main characters is just a mistake. It's an accident waiting to happen. We gotta stop it, man.
Okay,
we gotta bring up the patriarchy. Hey,
okay,
I can't be misogynist if I'm not even human. Okay, that's how it works.
Misogyman X.
Misogyman X.
Super fighting
Okay.
robots.
Okay, Smartassen. Then what about, like, Teppu? Or Shadow Skill?
Now, see, we don't talk about them.
You know you're not allowed
Why?
to bring counterexamples that can actually counter someone's argument, Lone Crit. That's not how academia and arguments work.
Wait, why Misogybalta? Because they reject your reality and substitute their own?
No, it's because your mom gay.
What about JoJo Part 6, douchebot?
That hasn't come
It's
out
not
yet.
out yet, so it doesn't exist. It's only in manga form, so it doesn't count.
Oh, and you might also say, oh well, what about Battle Angel Alita? Well, she is a robot, so she gets a pass.
Cyborg.
Well,
Cyborg.
she was a cyborg in the beginning, but she ends up being a full-on robot. Spoilers.
Let's not get into this whole transhumanism stuff right now. And also the live-action movie's trash, but we're not going to talk about that.
But the live-action movie is decent. It's okay. Like, especially in regards to just like live-action anime adaptations. It's literally the best that we got.
Low
really
bar,
your
but
bar?
okay.
Okay, what did you say?
Is that really your bar?
I will die on this fucking hill. Let me have this, okay?
You can't die. You can only be extinguished.
Let me deactivate on this hill. God damn it!
And
my
back
I'm sure
to
there
Neverland.
are. I'm sure there are more good female-led shonen or battle shonen, even if they're not coming
yeah.
to me right now. Kaguya-sama Love is War is obviously a shonen, but more of a romance anyway. I'm not.
It's a
really
seinen,
gonna
actually,
count that
but
one.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Still, I'm thinking more just like battle shonen shit.
Yeah, but Neverland 2 is just so bad. And even visually, it's really just terrible.
It's terrible. It's absolute dog shit. Like, just characters just spout entire encyclopedia's worth of exposition with barely much like personality added to it to make it engaging to watch.
And sometimes scenes kind of just, oh my god, some scenes
They
are
just
so
end
bad.
and they just happen as soon as they do. Yeah, like there's this one part, right? When like, oh, the demons that I told you about, they were talking to Ray and Emma about basically, okay, so TLDR, humans and demons, they were fucking each other up, and then they came into an agreement basically like 1,000 years ago that is still like maintained to this very day, that every so often, hey, we just yeet children over to the dimensional freaking equivalent of the Overton window over to the demon world side for you to just like, you know, cultivate and feed on, because fuck children, I guess. And you know,
apparently,
this show doesn't sound so bad. Just saying. I think
yes,
you
it
guys
does.
are overstating it a bit.
And guess what? No one has ever crossed of their own volition in 1,000 years. No one has ever actually found how to do that, apparently.
and then like right after explaining all of that, you would think that Emma and Ray would kind of be in just complete shock about the fact that, oh my god, this is how far things have gone. Even if we go to the human world, things might not work out because we escaped from the farms. But no, that didn't happen. They did. In fact, they take it one step further and are just so jazzed about the fact that the human world even exists that they don't care.
Can I just go ahead and say I never really liked Emma as a protagonist in the first place?
Fair
That's
enough.
because she's a woman.
Yeah, you're gonna like her less here.
Yeah, you can have legitimate reasons to dislike her now because other than the fact that she's a woman.
I never okay, she's not a woman, she's a child.
She's a
She's
girl.
a girl.
Get it right, nerd.
Oh, well, that makes it even worse in his case.
Since you mentioned visuals, I would like to briefly touch on Pretty Boy Detective Club one more time. Did you guys like that flashback scene where it's like mostly, I think, drawn stuff, or just like the style completely changes to something reminiscent of some of the Monogatari openings and endings? Particularly, yes. I think the ending theme for season 1, the first one, and just like the Shinobu one for season 2, where it's like that, like similar color palette, lines, colors used generally, etc., but without such like sharp angles, because it's not by the FLCL dude.
Right. Yeah. I actually like that part a lot. And, you know, like anything better than like Promised Neverland Season 2's visuals is fine by me for the most part.
Let's actually get into the worst part of Neverland 2's visuals, is that there are some shots that are just downright... There's some sequences that are downright incomprehensible where characters just dart off in their own places. You have no sense of where anything or anyone is, and you just sort of just have things popping out of nowhere. It's so bad sometimes. And there's so much Ruby level teleportation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, I guess we might as well just wrap this up now that Neverland 2 is dead. It's bad. Don't watch it. Just watch season 1 and pretend nothing ever happened afterwards.
As this season has shown, anime is very much alive, and I think Yume is my favorite character in Dynazenon now. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about that probably next time. But yeah, watch everything else that we've mentioned other than Promised Neverland Season 2. There we go. That's a recommendation.
So yeah, and thus concludes this episode of the Newtypes podcast. And now if you excuse me, I have to eat at some point, probably. My shift is almost over.